Hey everybody, it's Erin Reed from Erin Reed Makes, and welcome to my Card Making Wednesday. Today we're going to talk about pattern paper and some fun cards that you can make using up some of your pattern paper that you have in your stash. I have a ton, oh my gosh, there's so much pattern paper here that we're going to do a ton of fun things, and they're like simple pattern papers, they're more complicated, they've got large prints, they've got, small prints. We're going to do the whole gambit, and we're going to show you a whole bunch of fun cards using pattern paper. All right, let's get started. All right, so welcome everybody who's here. This is a live video. I'm going to switch over to see the comments, and welcome everybody who's here. So let's switch over, and I'm going to show you 3 of the cards I've already pre-made, and then we have a 4th one that we're going to do together that I have most of the parts cut. I just didn't get a chance to do the prototype because I wanted to show you a 4th card because it was really cool. All right, so here are some of the cards that we're going to play with. Fun, bright, happy, cheery, just a ton of fun. And if you're here, a little shout out, say hello, hello. All right, so here are some of the fun cards, and I'm using a variety of products from a whole bunch of fun companies, and these are just some things I had left over in my stash. So let's start with this little guy because it's really easy. Okay, so this card is actually from my paper stash, from my Erin Reed Makes collection. This is my Pandatastic collection. I love it because it's got cutie little pandas. And just to show you some of the paper, this is one of the papers. This is all digital, so you get to print it off. And this is the other one. It's like these little pandas right here. It's really sweet. So you don't need a whole lot. What we're going to start off with, a whole lot, this is great for scraps too, right? We're going to start off by making a square card. So this is an 8x4 sheet of paper folded in half, and we're just going to mat it with black. And so I'm going to take my Xyron tape runner. There we go. And wow, it's sticky everywhere. And then mat that to back. This is a really simple card, and you can also do this as the same if you did a 5 or an A2 size card, or if you did a long slimline. Concept is the same. I mat down by 1/4 inch to each side. Then I took another, so I'm just going to show you. You could mat it just like this, and it could be beautiful. You place this in the center, and it's great. And that's a really simple, easy card to use your background paper. And these little embellishments, these circles, were already pre-made. There's a lot of paper companies, including my own designs, where they create squares or circles or like cutout embellishments that all you have to do is just kind of place them. You don't have to do all the hard work is done for you. So why not use it to your ability? But we're going to take it a step further, which is we're going to take the sheet of paper, instead of leaving it as a full sheet. Hello, Dawn from Maine. Welcome. But we're going to cut this down to be 1/4 inch from the black mat, and we're going to cut it into triangles just for something different, just to give it a little bit more interest. And of course, I put my paper trimmer away so I have more room. So once you've cut it into a triangle, or once you cut it into a square, sorry, now we're going to cut it into a triangle. So all I do is I place it on my tape, or on my paper trimmer, sorry, and I line up corner to corner. It's the easiest way to get a straight triangle. And then line up, and then now you've got 2 triangles that you can use for 2 different cards. So the initial card that I made, I cut out a sheet of the panda paper. Look how cutie panda paper is. And I also cut out a square of the heart paper. And so I could take, there's where one heart, there's where one piece is. Now I'm going to do the hearts this way, and since the hearts do have kind of a line, I'm going to have them go in the bottom. Over here I had them go on the top. And then these pandas, because they're all going in every single direction, it doesn't matter which way I put them, and we're going to line them up like that. So now I could cut one more panda paper or whatever background paper, and I like picking papers that come from the same collection. Hi, Cindy. Therefore, the colors match, and it just makes life really easy. I also like seeing that little space in the center there. I just feel like it adds a little something, almost like I added a whole extra mat around every triangle. I just think it looks really cool. But if I did cut one more paper to go with this, I could make 2 more cards, just have to cut all the bases. So then all you need to do is add your adhesive. This one goes here. And I'm lining it up whenever, and I get asked this question a few times. How do I line it up so it looks perfect? I use my eyeballs. So what I'm doing is I go in the corner here and I go, okay, does this amount of black look like the same amount as this amount of black down here? And I'm looking at my prototype card and I'm a little too far away. So I'm going to go a little closer, which just means I'm going to have more of a gap in the center. And I don't ever put it down fully. And then like, because of this, I have 2 cards. I'm going to come in and I'm going to do like a quick check and go, yep, I really like the way that looks. And then I'll push it down the rest of the way. I have screwed up doing that a lot, and I've pulled up the paper and started over, and my tape runner is being silly. So we're going to fix that. Easy fix. Oops, it twisted on itself. All right, I may have to grab my other one. I got it twisted somehow. Oh no, it worked. There we go. It's all good now. And then just line up in the other corner. And then for grins and giggles, well, you could easily also pop this up if you wanted to have a little pop up, but mine is buried behind a trash can I've got behind me, and I forgot to dig it out. I meant to show you guys you could pop it up. But a little square image. You could also just cut out a circle and do a stamped image in the center. You could recreate this kind of version with, you know, a die cut out of a color that all matches, or use the paper to your advantage. Because in the paper collection, which this is the fantastic paper collection that's on my website, Erin Reed Makes, you get 4 of these little circles, and these are just 2 of them. So look how fast and easy that card was. Just a little bit of paper, and they're squares. You could totally do them as A2 size cards, but they're really fun as squares too. So, and if you were ever a part of my card swap, this is a 4x4 square, which would fit into an A2 size envelope. So it would totally work for the card swap if you ever are interested in joining that. All right, the next card we're going to make, this is a fun one. This one's really cool. Hello, Peg Marie. Hello, hello. How are we doing today? All right, this one is using lots of really cool products from Dare to be Artsy. So there is this amazing die, and I did all the die cut ahead of time. So look at this really cool die. It's the size of an A2 size card, and it has all these really cool pieces. That's this. And I did it in a different color just as a change of pace. Whoops. Come here. So here is this piece. And for this card, I went horizontal. For this card, we're going to go vertical. So we're actually going to have this piece go, the circle part right here. So you can either have it, you can have it go in any direction you want. And I could also flip it. So it would be, well, this one's one-sided paper, but if you had 2-sided paper, you could have it go in every single direction. It's really fun. This one is called Circle Background Die. I forgot to put the link for this die, but I will go back and add it later. But it's a Dare to be Artsy. Most of the stuff I've done today is linked, but I did forget to link that. Oops. All right. We're now going to take our A2 size card. And so here is our pattern paper we're working with. It's a very busy pattern paper, and it's really pretty. But if you put your element on top of that, it gets kind of lost. You don't see it. It hides, right? So I think that's the biggest problem people have with pattern paper, is that it's so pretty. I love the design. I love everything about it. But I go to put something on top of it, and then it just, you can't see the element, the main sentiment, the main thing. It hides within all of it. So bottom line is use solid color paper, white paper, give yourself a mat, any of those things to help break apart all those beautiful pattern papers that you have, so you can really see those elements, like your stamped image that you spent so much time stamping, coloring in, and die cutting, or you know, that beautiful sentiment. You don't want it to get lost in the shuffle of the card. So pattern papers are awesome. Just separate them out with blocks of other paper. And that's what this beautiful die is it is helping block out, even though it's busy, what's the main color you see here is that color. And then there's a hint of a little something in the background. So same with this. Even though there's a pattern paper back there, what's the main color you see is the green. It kind of tones it down a little bit. And then to really make sure, our little turtle here, and just to show you, the turtle and the little raccoon came from a paper line. It's called Ice Cream Social, also from Dare to be Artsy, and it's actually the pattern paper, and there are dies that go along with it. So the raccoon, there's a little raccoon die. He's right here. There's also one for the ice cream cone. There's one for the one that's got the little hat with the ice cream cone. So you can die cut straight from the paper, but there's also corresponding stamps to go with it. So you could stamp and die cut at the same time. The turtle one, same thing. There is a die that goes with the turtle, and I chose to do the turtle holding the ice cream cone. So I just die cut them out of the paper. I love that concept. I think it's so fun, because sometimes I love an image. I just don't have the time to, coloring is not 100% my thing. I will say that. Sometimes I get into it, but I'd much rather like die cut a little image, much more my jam. Okay, that's not for here. So what we're going to do is we're going to line all this up. Oh, and I was going to say, and it's also to help separate out the colors, because if I put the turtle in here, what's going to happen? it's going to kind of get lost, right? So we put a pop of color. Basically, I did all the coordinating colors from this. I saved the big circle from in here, popped it in here. How much more does our turtle pop out now? So much easier to see that turtle because we've put it on a color where it's not hiding and we've added a solid behind it. So it just really makes a difference on the whole thing. Same with here. I put the green that came from this one over there. And then I also blocked in some other fun colors and I did the same thing. I snagged some other ones that are in here that we're going to inlay. So let's actually build this thing. Now that I'm done chatting. Okay. Build our background paper first. Give it a nice solid one. We are also going to not see any of the white on this card. We're going to go all color with this one. So we're doing a matte that fills up the entire A2 size of the card. Open it up and you have white, easy enough to write on. I need to change out my blade on my paper trimmer. And then we're going to lay down our ice cream. So that's going to go there. So let's go. And I could do the sprinkles. Actually, let's decide. You guys tell me. Should we do sprinkles? I got to make this whole thing sticky. So you can decide. Let me kind of build it for you. I love doing this just to decide. Actually, you know what? I almost like that better. What do you guys think? I think I like this color better. Sometimes just you switch the color around. I think this is our winner. That is so much more of a striking color difference. Look at that. Isn't that better? But you guys tell me. So there's that option. Let me flip it. Let me show the ice creams again. Or we do ice cream. And I think part of the reason why I like the brown better, see, it's like too soft. It's like a soft tone or like a light tone with a light tone. Whereas on this side, we have a dark tone with a light tone and it just pops a whole lot better. So sometimes just try a different color behind it and then you're good to go. I'm going to do the dark side because I really like that one. So how do I get this big thing, this whole thing to stick without it being a mess and without getting glue? You can totally use glue. But I'm going to pull out my Xyron Creative Station. This is a sticker maker, but it's giant. So I can fit this whole thing in. And I want it to go in like this. So I'm going to line it up. I'm also going to run all my little pieces through here too. It's basically like a big version. What this is right here is a big version of this. But you can put a lot of fun stuff inside of here. See, the brown's better, right? So, and you can also put different cartridges. I'll show you that part in a minute. So I run the first one through. I'm also going to run the sticker, or sorry, the circle. I'm going to run my cute little turtle. I love that turtle. And then I kept some of the little pieces from this card that we cut out. So I'm going to shove it in there too. And so you just got to shove it all the way in the back. Whoops. You guys can see they kind of line up. I use my scissors sometimes my finger's too big to get all the way in there. This is not really meant for tiny, tiny stuff, but if I'm already pulling it out and running other things, I can easily add more stuff. Hopefully I put them the right direction. I didn't even check. Well, maybe I should check. Oh, well, they're in there now. Oops, one got stuck. There we go. There it is. That's a giant waste. I wish I didn't have done that. Oh, well. Tear it on the back side. And then this is where you can pull out the cartridge. So you have one cartridge right here. And this is called the Creative Station. This is the light because it's the smaller version. You can pop this guy out. And you can have a whole bunch of different, there's permanent adhesive, repositionable. There's a laminate and a magnet. Sorry, you're not seeing that. Double-sided laminate and permanent. So you can do all kinds. And it's cold laminate, so it's really nice. I had the repositionable in here. But if you keep the repositionable, and you know what color because it has it right there, if you don't move it after a while, it becomes permanent. And the reason why I did the repositionable is in case I misaligned this, I could retweak it again. All right, so rub, because it's turning everything into a sticker. And I really wasted a lot of space there, but make sure it's fully in. Don't make my boo-boo. Peel off the top. You got to be smarter than the earth. There we go. Big stickers now. All right, and we're going to start with the big guy. Now, this one I have to be very gentle with because look at all this space. If I just pull, I'm going to rip it, right? So very, very gentle pulling this off. You could use glue, whatever you like. I like turning things into stickers. To me, it's easy. Glue, sometimes I'll get the little seepage and then it gets glossy on me. And I don't like that glossy factor. When it gets there, it looks shiny. Maybe I'm not using the right glue. What would you guys use? Would you guys use glue for a die like this? Because this is not one you can just use your tape runner on. You really want all those little pieces to stick. So again, gently pulling it off. very, very delicate. Just taking it one step at a time. I don't want to lose any of those little swirly cues because they're so stinking adorable. All right. They're everywhere. Everywhere I pull, I get a new little swirly. I'm trying to grab it from all four corners too. There, one last little holdout. So here we go. If you, somebody wrote something and I can't read it. If you press and say, oh, it's cut off at the bottom. Hang on. I'll have to wait till somebody else. Dawn, I'm trying to read your comment, but for some reason I have like a little thingy on here that's closing it out. And I can't read the bottom of that comment. So I'll have to wait till somebody else comments below you, or just hit enter again and then I'll see it. Oh, I need to put adhesive on the back of this. I meant to do that. And then we started talking about other stuff. All right. So I definitely like the brown better. I feel like it pops. Always double check your colors. And sometimes you're like, I'm going to go with that. And then you realize, ooh, I like that other color better. So this is a perfect, when I matted down by 4 1/4, this fits this perfectly. So this size of the die, which is probably written on the package, is 4 by 5 1/4. There you go. Oh, if you lay press and seal on it, it will pick up all the glue, all over glue. Oh, cool. Very fun. Very, very cool. All right. So I'm just making sure I hit these 2 corners down here and then line it up. And I'm pulling it taut on the corners and making sure all the corners, and then I'm just going to run my hand down. Now, there are some little what I call cobwebs on here, and I have, it's probably in my other drawer. There it is. It's this little sticker eraser thing. Oh, what is the name of the machine I used? The machine I used is called the Creative Station Light. I did not put a link directly to this, but there is a link to Xyron. But yes, this is on Amazon as well. I will put all the links as soon as I'm done with this. I forgot, I pulled this out after I did most of my links going, oh yeah, I do need that. And I forgot to put that on there. So I will make sure, but you can also get this at Xyron. They have some great deals all over the place. And that link to Xyron, I believe, is down in the information sections, but I will put them all as soon as we are done. Do not fret. And the only reason why I say, if you want to hold off, it's just being nice. I put my affiliate links down there. And so if you happen to purchase something, and sometimes just clicking on my affiliate links helps bring money back, which allows me to do these videos. So it's just a way to help keep all this fun stuff happening. So it's just, and it's no extra cost to you whatsoever. So just as a side note. And I try to put all the links I possibly can. So here is the little sticker, and it's an eraser. And I'm just going through, careful not to grab. And I'm just lightly touching. You can like dab. And I'm just trying to get rid of anywhere I see a little extra adhesive because I got caught in like the swirls. It only got caught in a couple places. It's like magic. I love this. But the press and seal idea is really cool. I've never tried that, so I'd be interested to try that. This is easy. I have it at my desk and it's so fun. Okay, next, let's actually build all the elements on top. Oh, so we gotta put our elements in here. All right. So we're gonna put the circle in. So this is great. Like if you made 2 cards like I did, you can save the colors from one and pop it into the other. All right, now let's see if I did this right. Here's a little moon. So that was the moon left over. I picked all the big shapes. I didn't want to do super tiny ones. All right, now let's see if I did the squiggle the right order. Here we go. This is why having stickers is so easy. So the squiggle goes in here. That's close enough. The circles would be easy to keep as well. I did keep one circle over here. I have a big squiggle, which I believe, I know it's not, it's swirl. I guess it's a swirl. Here's the swirl. And I think it goes, I actually did them all the right direction. Like if I had done it upside down, I don't know if it would have worked. I should have checked them, but so far I'm lucky. And then the last one is a little half moon, so it wouldn't have mattered. So where is that moon? I think it's right here. So inlay your colors, and it just gives more of a solid base to your stamps or to your die. So if you've got these really fun, fussy dies, and there's a ton of different ones out there. This is just a fun one. There's Close to My Heart has some that are like slimline. They have like stars and circles that pop out. There's a lot of beautiful dies out there that do shapes like this. I think this one's a really fun one too. Just keep some of them. Die cut them twice. And then keep the pieces and pop them in because it's really fun. I will also have to say, this is just a caveat. This is just purely because this die had so many intricate pieces to it. I ran this through probably like 6 times and I kept on getting edges. I'm like, oh my gosh, did I get a dud dye? Because I have never played with this one before. That's why I always do prototypes ahead of time. So what I was doing is I was using all different kinds of shims and mattes on my big die cut system. This is called the Crossover 2. And I can dial up and dial down. So I could put as much pressure, and I was getting, like, I was squeezing the pressure as hard as I could. And I still was getting sections that weren't die cutting clean. So I pulled out, oh, and as anybody who remembered, I found my top piece. I found it. I put it in a stupid place, of course, but I found it. So instead of doing the magnetic sheet or anything like that, that had a little bit of, like, these ones are plasticky or they've got like a rubber coating on it or something, I went back to my metal shim. I laid the paper on here and then the die on top of the shim, and it cut no problem. Same pressure as I did the other ones. Actually, I did a little less pressure, but the die, the edge of the die against the metal made that cut like super clean. I didn't have any pieces that hung on there. And when I did it with the other shims, stuff was hanging on all over the place and I was getting super frustrated. So I'm a big proponent of the metal shim for making super clean cuts. That's just me. Okay. But it's not magnetic, just as a heads up. All right. So just telling you my frustration, because we all have them, right? Okay. Next, we're going to stick our little turtle down, our little turtle friend. And I had the sentiment coming off this way because I had more room on this side of the die. This time, we're going to butt the turtle up to the other side. And I have not picked out a sentiment yet, so let's pick one out. Some really, really cute sentiments on this stamp set. How about we just do what the shell? I like the what the shell. That's cute. Let's do what the shell. And I forgot to put the other stamp away. So sometimes if I'm ever at a rush, especially when I'm doing lives, I will take a stamp set and put the stamp just on top of it. And I come back and go, oh, well, that's because I didn't want to unpackage it or whatever. Just a quickie something. If you're ever in that mode, like you're packing up from something and you're trying to go, oh my gosh, where to go? All right. And then we're going to stamp this guy. Ink, ink, there's ink. And this is just like, I practiced stamping on the other side and then I didn't get there. So if you guys watched, I put out a little short yesterday. And in case you're noticing, I have a little oopsie on my hand. We had a kitty friend that decided to come say hi to us yesterday. See if we can get a nice good one. Yeah, it's good. I had a cat walk into my house, like literally just decided to be a part of our family. A friend came over with my son, and I have, like, the video has got, you can see the kitty in the video. It's just a little short, 30-second video that went up on my Instagram and YouTube and everything yesterday. My daughter decided to name the cat Mittens, but I was moving it and the dog and my cat were not getting along very well. The cat is used to dogs, but my dog has never seen a cat. He was mostly curious about the cat, but she didn't know enough about him. And as soon as she kind of, I need to tighten that again. As soon as she got a little too close, he would sniff her, and if he got a little too close to her, I'm going to do this down here. She kind of hissed, and then he would bark at her, and she slapped her. So I was moving her from one place to the other, and she nicked me, of course. But she was a sweetie. But her owner came and grabbed her, picked her up, and so no more kitty. We were calling the cat Mittens because she had little white paws. On all 4 paws, she had little white paws, and then she was black for the most part, except for some white places in her. But her real name was Kibby. I've never heard of that cat name before. Kibby, like kibble, but Kibby. Anybody heard that? We were taking bets on what the cat's name was, but my daughter still continues to call her Mittens. But it's a much calmer house now, and my dog is very much having giant naps because he was awake trying to figure out what she was doing all the time. Anyway, drama of the day, past couple of days. So here is our second card. Sorry about the little side piece. Using a pattern paper on the back, a beautiful die cut piece on the front, which is kind of acting as a mat before putting a fun element, and then just a little sentiment, and doing the sentiment in a completely different color. So again, it pops up against all the other colors. So I just chose white with black, and therefore it really does pop. And so we took that die and went 2 different directions with it, and also did a variety of different colors. And then since I did 2 different colors of the die, we could match and swap all the fun pieces that go inside of there. So that is our second card. For those of you that missed it, this is our first card, just a fun way to use triangle pieces to make a square card. Cutie, cutie. And then our third card is to show you how to use a pattern paper with a large stamp. So there's so many beautiful pattern papers out there. This is a very grungy, beautiful one. This is from a close to my heart, and it's gorgeous, right? You could pick any pattern paper you want for this, and you can pick any large stamp. It could be a floral stamp. It could be a large sentiment stamp. You could go sideways on the stamp if you wanted to. You can go tall on the stamp. And I have, of all things, I have just discovered this fun card size. I have been doing slimline cards as a 6x6, 6 inches by 6 inches. But when you fold it in half, it becomes a 6x3. Well, it doesn't fit into an A2 size card. So instead, somebody in my card swap sent a card of this size. So like, this is genius. It still uses a 6x6 sheet of paper. So now we've got 6, but the height is only 5.5. So when you fold it in half, it becomes a 5.5 by a 3. And so it fits into an A2 size card, and it still fits the bill for a mini slimline, which I think is genius because I love the idea of this small size. Why it didn't dawn on me just to shorten it by 1/2 inch to allow it to fit. So this is my new favorite card size ever, because I feel like sometimes the wider card, I have so much property I have to fill in, and this is just a fun way. If I did this size of a stamp on a wider card, it would look odd. It just doesn't fit right. It's like it's too much space, right? But this I feel is perfect. So the stamp we are using is another one from close to my heart. There's a set, which unfortunately is no longer in existence, but I just want to show you that you can pull out stuff that's from everywhere. They're long. These are the tall ones, but there's also a portion where they're all wide. So they're long pieces, which I love. And it's meant to fit slimline cards. There's many designs out there that are like that. So here is the base of this card. I flipped all the colors just for fun. So fold it in half. So again, it's 3 inches by 5.5. The base of the card is 6 by 5.5. So it's a great way to use up some smaller white sheets of paper or whatever. We're going to do a big color mat on the back again. Oh, my tape runners. I think it keeps doing this. It's driving me nuts. I love Xyron, but every now and then it does happen, and it drives me bananas. And sometimes I'm just going to forget that. We're getting a new one. I must have put it in wrong or something. There. Problem solved. It happens. Sometimes I think it's more user error, but I don't know. So the papers we're using all came from close to my heart as well. And they're just really pretty. This came from a set, and it's really cool. I think there are 6 3/4 envelopes. I'm not sure. So I like the idea that I don't have to make an envelope, and I already have a ton of A2 size envelopes. So this fits in there. And I love that concept. I don't have to build anything new. All right, so then we're going to do the mat. First, let's stamp this. I already have this in my Misty, ready to go. Where'd I put my Misty? Oh, there it is. I've got things like stashed. I really need to take a picture of what my desk looks like after the fact. And I need to put a new sheet in. This is so gross. I let my daughter use this when she had a blast. We had to clean it all up, but she had so much fun. So I've already set the stamp to fit in here just perfectly. I've already lined this up. I made my white mat as close to the size as possible so it would fit in perfectly, and I wouldn't have a ton of extra space in there. And I want this to be a super, super crisp stamp. That's why I'm using my Misty here. Here. Get this on here. So if I need to do a second run on this, see, it's not clear enough. I want this to be super, super crisp. So that's why I chose to use a Misty for this big stamp, because it's really the focal point. The beautiful pattern paper in the back is something of interest, but you're really reading the sentiment on there. So this is a great card for those sentiments. Just blocking it with pattern papers. That's it. Or, sorry, with colored cardstock. I'm going to do one more. I feel like the U is not quite there. So using pattern papers as your background, matting it with solid color cardstock, and then just a large stamp is another fun way to use your pattern paper. There we go. That looks so much better. Done. Put this back in the drawer it's supposed to go in, and I'm going to snag the stamp out of there because we are officially done with the stamp. There we go. Pop it back on there. All right, so here is the card. I'm going to go ahead and mat this on here. And again, whenever I'm doing mats, I always line it up and I look at this side, and then I look at the top. Okay, am I about the same from here to this corner? And then I do the same from here to here. And I'm like, if it looks good to the eye, and then I pop it down. And that's how I mat things so they look like they're even. And then for a card like this, I do the same thing. I'm like, okay, here and here, even though it's bigger, here and here. Does that look good? There we go. So really letting that pattern paper shine, letting it do its thing. I pulled colors that were from the pattern paper as my solid color cardstock. And for this one, I did the blue in the back, or the teal in the back, and the green in the front. And for this one, I just flipped them. I think it looks good no matter what. So you really can play around with all the different cards and really letting that pattern paper shine by making your stamp as tight in as possible so you can see the pattern paper. I could have made this bigger and had more white, but what's the point? I really think that making it smaller works better. So that is our third card. So just to reiterate, those who've gotten in, our first card are these fun little squares. So making triangle pieces of pattern paper and a big image on the front. Our second one is taking pattern paper, but overlaying it with one of those fun dies that you see, all those beautiful fun dies as a solid color, popping in some of those elements, and then making sure, like for this one, filling in the circle in another color. That way your element can really pop, because otherwise it's going to hide in all the funness on the card. All right, and the last one, I don't have a prototype. We're going to build it together because I ran out of time. So this is a great way to use up all the scraps of your pattern paper. So I cut all these down to be a 1 1/4 inch squares, and we're going to build this on this peach color. I just picked a peach that matched with the color of this. This matches in there. I think this all came as a set, but I don't think this one did, because the other side doesn't match at all, but the front side does. So it worked. So we're going to go with these colors. And then I picked a very contrasting color to the teal. That's why I picked the peach. And we're going to start building. I'm going to build the first square first. I'm going to go with this one. There we go. And then we're going to start like building it kind of on an angle. And we're only going to fill up, I'm going to drop it down a little bit. We're only going to fill up the bottom half of the card, but leaving the top half clean. I don't want to see anything on the top half, just to kind of give it a little bit of a different interest, right? So just doing a diagonal. So I'm just building on the outside first, and I'm making it as a grid. Try not to replicate any of the colors next to each other. Oops, there we go. And then we need another fun one here. Let's go here. I also didn't do enough squares, which is why we're doing it together now. I only did enough squares, I think, for the prototype here. So see, we're just building it up, and we're doing it on diagonal just for fun. You could do stripes. You could also do this exact same design, but you could do it in like octagons or hexagons or something if you had a die. But squares are super easy to make. You make one strip of paper. I made it 1 1/4, and then I just went through my paper trimmer, moved the paper over 1 1/4. There's a square. Move it over again, 1 1/4. There's a square. Can't get so more complicated. So now, let's do paper trimmer. Let's just do this. I'm going to start with the first one. And the nice thing about doing a double-sided paper, this is way too big. I'm going to get frustrated doing that. So we're going to pull out the sticker maker, because screw that. I am not doing that 5,000 times. Well, 10 times. We're going to get out the sticker maker again. There we go. Oops. Stuff's getting stuck in my drawers. So I'm going to put the squares in here. I got the first square laid down. There's no wrong way to do it. We can do it as many ways we want. But if you're noticing the back side of this, oh, I like the happy. No, I don't want to see the happy. It's the same paper. It's just reversed. So you know they go together if one side's one and one side's the other. That's a nice thing. And I'm going to run all my squares, because I may not use the full square. I might just use a portion of the square. But at least it's a sticker no matter what. So now these are going to be so much easier to put down. There we go. Ta-da. And that little guy is just our beginning point. Because I don't know about you guys, but I have so much paper, and I feel bad. Like, I will still keep the rest of this paper because I don't want to throw it away. Because I'm weird like that. I keep it until it's like the tiniest little piece. So even though part of this is cut off, when we trim this, I might end up using the rest of that, because there's nothing wrong with it. There we go. And this is like this paper, this one I'm putting down right now. I'm trying to make sure that the sides, this guy's a little too low. There we go. This size right here, this paper, it's the same one. You can see it's got a little hint. It's like wavy lines. So, all right, let's go here with this one. You could also do more than, I only did 3 sheets of paper. You could definitely do like 4 to give you more options for colors. Because they're nice and small, this one's crooked. This is why I like being able to rearrange them. Glue works too, guys. You don't have to do what I'm doing here by rearranging them every 5 seconds. But if you have a lot of colors, because they're small, it doesn't look so crazy. All right, let's go back to this one. And I'm not really worried about how it's orientating here. Just putting them down. All right, we're going to end up using the rest of this guy. See how a lot of it's coming off here? I don't want to waste it. Because we have a little corner here, and then there's some space over here. I want to fill up all of it. So let's do the flip-flops. They're facing upwards. All right, so now we have lots of pieces. They're already sticky. We just need to trim them up. You can either use your scissors or you could use your paper trimmer. I'm just going to use my scissors. I always like flipping it over on the back side and then just go right up against the edge. So here's another one. I'm just going to put it off to the side. It's already a sticker. I can use that. All these extra ones I can use again. If you cut more squares, you can definitely use whatever. But I'm just going to use what I have left. Oops. Cut from the correct side, Erin. There we go. Again, you could also line up your paper trimmer. I sometimes hesitate to use my paper trimmer when it's really, really sticky, just depending, because then it makes my paper trimmer all sticky. I don't like that. Okay, so I want to add this one here. So we're going to come in. Oh, look at that. It almost is perfect. See that little edge right there? Look at that. So now I was able to fit that in there. It was almost perfect. That's funny. We're going to do a little bit of this right here. I actually need to use more of that. So I'm going to use the smaller corner. So I need this color here, and I actually need a little bit more of that to go down there. I don't need very much of that. I don't need any more of the other of the hashi, whatever you want to call it. The grid one. Yeah, grid. That's a word for it. Grid. And then this one goes here. I'm just trying to use whatever corners are there. But you're still seeing the peach all the way through here, right? You guys are real quiet right now. Any comments or questions? There we go. And then trim this guy up here. Oops, I should have done the back side, but I think I eyeballed that. And then this little tiny piece, let's see if I can get it to work. Right there. And then I'll just cut on either side. No comments, guys? You're so quiet. So quiet. So look at that. It's like creating our own background paper with leftover squares. Get rid of all these little sticky pieces now. Isn't that cute? And I didn't have to go that high. I just chose to go that far. Now I have a white sheet of paper here, and we're going to put this on a white cardstock. So now I've taken all that pattern paper and really blocked it out and made it fun. And then we're going to do a little element. Now I already pulled it out, but I haven't stamped and colored it yet. We have this cute little ice cream cone to go with our summer. So very summer vibe, very sweet. Haha, pun intended, sweet. Oh, I need a stamp block, which is right here. And that goes back with turtles. I keep forgetting to take my stamp blocks off. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but I do switch back and forth between my Misty. Oops, that's bad. Which I probably should use my Misty for that. Hello, Noreen. I haven't called out other people who've gotten on in a while. Hello, Dorothy, Noreen, Dawn, Danielle. Hello, hello. I need more ink there. If I don't get a clean one on this, I'm going to pull out my Misty. I still screwed it up. I didn't get it clean. Okay, screw that. We're going back to Misty. Fail once. You got to go just, start over. Oh, see, I have extra paper in here. I do. I'm just so you guys see, I have this is my extra paper drawer right here. I have all my extra papers, my pattern papers. This is where I've kept like the flying papers. So I keep it all in there. I also keep a lot of white paper, and it's just right here, right handy with me. So if I need something, black, craft, and white are my go-tos. And if I'm really loving that kind of paper color at that moment, I will put those color cardstocks back in there as well. For if it's a set though, like if it came as a paper pack, or if it came in a kit with a bunch of things, I'll keep all that stuff together. I won't disassemble that, but just as how I store. All right, we're going to try the stamp again. Sorry, this is the one where I just ran out of time. My husband actually came home middle of the day because he's home and then he's got to drive, and then we couldn't get something to work, so we turned around and there was just all this kind of kerfuffle happening right before I went live. Of course, right? Life's not dull. Life's never dull. All right, let's see if I can get a good one now. It's still funny on that one side. I wonder if it's the stamp. There's other stamps I could use. If I can't get it here, we're going to switch to a non-ice cream cone. Get in there. See, I think it might be the stamp. I feel like I'm putting ink on it. Do you guys ever had this happen? This is why I usually test. Sorry about this. I'm going to try one more time. I wonder if it's just something about weird. There's ink on it. It just doesn't want to transfer. It must be like a funny size or something. I don't know. So we'll do the popsicle. Popsicle's cute. We'll do the popsicle. I do not know what happened to that ice cream cone. Maybe just a funny batch. It happens. All right, popsicles it is. This one better darn well work. Oops, I'm out about the popsicle. Sorry. Somebody scraps, use them for testing. Ooh, hi Noreen. Hello, hello. Seriously. Okay, so we're gonna switch gears. That is driving me nuts. So there's a workaround of it. I do not know why that is happening. It could be something with the stamp, but we are just going to work around it. So we are going to finish the line. I really don't feel like. So if you ever have a stamp that does this for you, this one's easy because the lines are like right there. I'm taking this out of here. So this is my workaround. If you ever have a stamp that gives you problems, but you really want to use that, this one I'm not going to try because it swirls, but this one, the line is easy enough. I can just, there. Look, I finished the stamp. Ta-da! Oh my goodness. That was a peanut and a half, right? Okay, I'm pulling out a watercolor. What I haven't checked though, is because I know the ink is fine. I don't know if that has a problem. Let's see. Oh, good. It doesn't. Okay. I wanted to watercolor on top of that. I was going to watercolor on top of the ice cream cone, but we're going to watercolor on top of here. So I have my new Derwent watercolors. They're so pretty. I'm loving these. And what color should we make our popsicle? So I need to think about colors. I think I'm going to go yellow because there's lots of other colors. I've done mint a lot. There's a lot of orange, but there's a yellow popsicle. I don't have any pinks. Look, there's even the popsicle. I don't know if you guys can see that. The bomb one. That one's fun. So I'm just going to come in and just color it in. I could have done this on yellow, and maybe I'll do a fun color in the center as a separate. This is instead of getting out any kind of Copic markering. You can always watercolor in your stamps too. Just do something different, just light. Okay, so there's that. Clean that off. Should we do an orangey? Let's do this color in the center. Let's see what color that is. Yeah, that works. So it ties in the orange in the background. Whoops, that was really thick. I'm making the colors really vibrant. I'm more coloring versus watercoloring at this point. But I made a big oops right there. Did you guys see that? I had a paper towel here. There. Oopsie fixed. And then I'm going to use a little bit of the blue up here with a little bit of the orange. This is just a water brush. So I already preloaded it. I'm trying to make brown here, guys. A little bit of this. Close enough. Enough for the stem. Just a little bit of a different color. So this is a little water brush. I already preloaded the water. It came in the kit, which was nice. And then when you're done using it, because it's too wide, You separate the two pieces. I'll put the link for this too, because I think this is fun. It's a great little travel guide. You pop this in here so the water doesn't go anywhere. And then it fits better like that. It fits in there. And I did have a paper towel going, but I don't know where it went. And then just clean off. If you use the top as your paint palette, just clean off the little top piece. And then this shows you all the different colors. And this is the Pastel Shades Paint Pan set. So it's a really cute one. There's other shades of them as well. I just loved it because it was nice and small. It had a beautiful range of colors, and it's so easy and compact. You can take it with you wherever you go. Simple, simple. And then just to make sure everything is dry, I'm just doing a quick look. That's fast. It went through fast, fast, fast. So now we are going to die cut this baby out because I have a die, so why not? And really fast. Die cut it out because it's going to go on there. Was going to do the ice cream cones, but or whatever. So again, this is why I always prototype ahead of time. I don't know why that stamp does not want to work. That is just the biggest. So this is again the metal die I was talking about. It fits great. I love my little mini maker. If you're a really big stamping person and you don't have a baby one, I use that 90% of the time. If I can fit it, because look how fast it was for me to pull it out, die, and then it's so small. It's light, super lightweight. It's awesome. All right, and then we are going to do Treat Yourself. Let's hope this stamp works. We're going to test it first. So I want this. Ooh, I got a little bit of water on there. It'll dry. I want that to go there. So we're going to put the Treat Yourself. It came in the stamp set. There we go. We're going to do, that's really small. I don't like that. What stamp should I use for that? Again, this is what I usually preempt it. We're going to do it just for grins and giggles because I don't know what else to use. I don't like it because it's too small, but it'll function. It'll do the job. Let's put it that way. Maybe if I don't so close to the edge. Maybe if I moved this over a little bit. And you know what? If I made this shorter, so I'll probably do that. That worked. I'm going to trim this down. I feel like it's too tall for what I want to do. It's too wide. Sometimes you look at it and go, it's just not working, but then you're like, I don't know what other stamp to use. So we're just going to trim the puppy down. There we go. And I think I'm going to do, no, I don't want to do it. I was debating doing like a cat's tail on there, but I think it's going to be too much stuff. So let's go ahead and build the card. This was a little bit of a card on the fly, guys. I had a concept, but I didn't have everything tested. Sorry about that. Even though I've had the stamp set for a while. It's a cute one, but something's wrong with the stamp. All right, and then this is still wet, so I don't want to get it, but that's just going to go right there. And there it is. And I didn't stamp it very well. So we're going to, I could have handwritten this and made it much bigger. So I didn't want to restamp. I've already stuck it down. There. It's a way to make it bigger. Now it looks like I did it by hand. It's the fake out way. And then there that is. Simple, simple, simple. Really keeping it simple. A great way to use some of your background stamps. If there's a matching, or background papers, if there's a matching stamp that goes with it, if there's a little one, you can always pop it in the corner, a little sentiment across the bottom, and you've created your own background. See, it's so easy. And you can also do this with hexagons. Circles would be kind of hard. You could do circles, but I think anything that would be very geometric shape that can line up next to each other, it would work perfectly. So hexagons, octagons, triangles would work. Squares are super easy to make though. But if you've got a die that does any of the above, that would look really cool. So this is our fourth card that we made 4 cards today, guys. So that's our fourth card using squares. The third card we did was using a big background here with a large stamp, letting that background really shine by giving a nice big border, but matting it up against colored cardstock to give it a variation in size. So really kind of a change in size. This is our second card we made. Taking a pattern paper, but putting a very bold die on top of it that is very busy. But when you put the two together, it really kind of, it does a really kind of a cool magical thing. It's almost like making your own background paper with a die and a pattern paper together. And then making sure to bold out wherever your elements are, put a contrasting color that makes sure that those elements pop. So I wouldn't have put the turtle on top of the green because it would have hid, right? And then also for this one, definitely realize that having a darker color behind the green really made the card pop versus the light color, because you had light color on light color. It didn't work so well. And then lastly, another fun way of using your background or pattern papers, I should say, sorry, is just cutting them up, using them a little bit different, and then a large element on the top. And this time also blocking it out with another dark color, contrasting, but matching within the paper of the black in this one. So 4 fun ideas of how to use your pattern paper. Some of them are chopped up, nice and small, and some of them are full backgrounds that you're using in different fun ways. So hopefully I've inspired you a little bit to pull out some of that pattern paper. We went in all different directions. I need to still glue that thing down. All fun different ways of using pattern papers, and hopefully getting you to get into your stash and pull out some of these papers I've had for a very long time, and I'm so happy to use them. And one of them is mine. I didn't have that one for a long time, but I've been working on it for a while. So if you're interested in any supplies, most of them are already linked down below, but I will go back and add the rest of them as soon as this video is over. Thank you so much for joining me. More live card making next Wednesday. I aimed for 1 o'clock today, but didn't quite make it. We will aim for 1 p.m. next week. With the chaos of the husband in and out of the house that's never here in the middle of the day, it was kind of weird. It got pushed back a little bit, but we will be back next week, 1 p.m. Central, with another fun card making live where we make 3 to 4 cards together and some fun techniques I will share with you. So please stay amazing. Thank you so much for all the hearts and the thumbs up. And if you're watching on Facebook, if you want to send some stars, if you're on YouTube and you want to send some thanks, that is fantastic. And if you're interested in joining my YouTube, if you want to be not just a subscriber, if you want to join my channel, I sometimes send out fun little treats to my members. So become a member of my channel on YouTube. You guys get fun little treats sent your way. And the latest one, if you become a member, is my Erin Reed made sticker, and you get a handmade card from me. So if you're interested in joining, the link is down in the bottom of the Facebook. It says join, and then you can join my channel as a member. So thank you guys again. I will see you next Wednesday. Bye, everybody.